This video is designed to help you start a dairy farm business. At the end of the video, you'll find a valuable gift. It's a dairy farm business plan that you can download, and will lay down for you, step by step, everything you need to know to start a successful dairy farm business of your own. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. First things first, setting up a dairy farm requires both money and capital, way more than any corporate business. Planning. There is a lot of planning involved in this step. Start with a type of dairy cattle to raise for milk production. The most prevalent dairy cattle are cows, goats, sheep and buffaloes. You need to rule out the cattle that cannot survive in your region's climate. Next, think about the food to feed your cattle. It is advisable to set up the food source in your dairy farm, to save money in the long run. If you are new to dairy farming, then you will have to devote a considerable amount of time to learning farming practices, even if you hire dairy farmers to manage your farm. A dairy requires capital, a space for the cattle to live, a feed store, a milking parlor, and a sterile facility for storing milk. So, pay heed to these aspects and make an initial capital investment for long-term gains. You may have to contact your state's government to get a license for running a dairy farm. After that, you should research the local milk market to link up with milk companies and retailers. You and everyone in your team must undergo training to learn the basics of how to manage cattle. This is crucial to ensure your cattle stay healthy and produce a good amount of milk each day. Learn the fundamentals about how to give your cattle the proper nutrients. To start a small dairy farm, you need to draft a plan that answers the following questions. How many cows do you want to breed? How are you going to market your milk and other products? Do you require any additional workers? The business plan must shed light on cash flow and expectations. A SWOT analysis must not be overlooked. It involves identifying the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats associated with owning a dairy farm. Consult the experts. You should consult dairy farming experts. They can assist you with creating a business plan for your small dairy farm, and developing a management system. It would be best to learn about the day-to-day, from someone you know who runs a dairy farm. One thing to note here is that what worked for their farm may not necessarily work for yours. Gain as much knowledge as possible from consulting bankers, veterinarians, and nutritionists. Cropping and feeding program. Creating a cropping and feeding program is essential. You must talk to certified nutritionists to know the best rations for calves, lactating cows, and dry cows. Regardless of if you opt for TMR, total mixed ration, graze cattle, or a combination of the two, your dairy cows need nutrients to produce high-quality milk and grow calves. Waste management. Your business plan must have a proper mechanism to deal with cattle waste, for example urine and dung, in order to maintain farm hygiene and prevent bad odors from spreading on the farm. The most effective technique is treating waste with safe chemicals. The shed area needs to be well ventilated, and the floors must not be slippery. When drafting your business plan, you have to keep in mind that dairy farming is a biological system that depends upon your cattle's ability to lead a healthy life and produce milk or calves. Detailed programs for good health reproduction and calf care are needed alongside the nutritional plan. Work with a veterinarian on this. Dairy cows. The biggest investment and assets of your dairy farm are the dairy cattle. You have to decide on a breed of cattle. Some breeds are good for producing milk, but it lacks the cream and protein for cheese making. Equipment. The three most important pieces of equipment on a modern dairy farm are a cream separator, a pasteurizer machine, and a butter churn. As its name suggests, a cream separator separates the cream from the milk produced. It works on the principle of centrifugal force, to remove cream from whole milk. It has conical discs in the bowl, that rotate 6,000 to 10,000 revolutions per minute. The centrifugal force runs the milk through the holes of the discs. A milk pasteurizer is a multifunction tool that helps in making products, like cheese or yogurt. It also eliminates pathogenic bacteria that are harmful to human health and preserves the milk's quality. A butter chum is a device that converts cream into butter. The churning process divides the cream into butter and buttermilk. It is a device that is easy to use and does not require intensive training to learn. There are several types of butter chums on the market, but a plunger churn that contains a stick and wooden barrel is the preferred choice. Disease control. Raising cows is always a challenge. You have to ensure the good health of your cattle. To that end, regular checkups are key. Train your team to look for signs of any health problems, because timely treatment is crucial for quick recovery and minimal downtime. Let your cattle loose in a special shaded area to keep them fit, as moving will decrease bloating. If you must, appoint a vet to take care of the farm. The next part of the video is not specific to a dairy farm business. Nevertheless, this knowledge is essential for success in the dairy farm business, as well as in any other business. Ignore it at your own peril. Operating a successful dairy farm business will depend on the following 4 conventions. 1. A practical plan, with a solid foundation. 2. Dedication, and willingness to sacrifice, to reach your goal. 3. Technical skills. 4. Basic knowledge of management, finance, record keeping and market analysis. As a new owner, you will need to master these skills and techniques if your business is to be successful. Finding a niche. Small businesses range in size from a manufacturer, with many employees, and millions of dollars in equipment, to the lone window washer, with a bucket and a sponge. Obviously, the knowledge and skills, required for these 2 extremes, are far apart, but for success they have one thing in common. Each has found a business niche, and is filling it. The most critical problems you will face, in your early planning, will be to find your niche, and determine the feasibility of your idea. Get into the right business at the right time, is very good advice, but following that advice, may be difficult. Many entrepreneurs plunge into a business venture, so blinded by the dream, that they fail to thoroughly evaluate its potential. Is your business idea feasible? Before you invest time, effort, and money, the following exercise will help you separate sound ideas from those bearing a high potential for failure. Identify and briefly describe the business you plan to start. Identify the product or service you plan to sell. Answering yes to any of the following 3 questions means you are on the right track. A negative answer to all of them means the road ahead could be rough. 1. Does your product or service satisfy an unfilled need? 2. Will your product or service serve an existing market in which demand exceeds supply? 3. Will your product or service be competitive, based on its quality, selection, price, or location? Market analysis. For a small business to be successful, the owner must know the market. To learn the market, you must analyze it, a process that takes time and effort. You don't have to be a trained statistician to analyze the marketplace, nor does the analysis have to be costly. Analyzing the market is a way to gather facts about potential customers, and to determine the demand for your product or service. The more information you gather, the greater your chances of capturing a segment of the market. Know the market before investing your time and money in any business venture. The following questions will help you collect the information necessary to analyze your market, and determine if your product or service will sell. This brief exercise will give you a good idea of the kind of market planning you need to do. An answer of no to any of the questions indicates a weakness in your plan, so do your research until you can answer each question with a yes. 1. Do you know who your customers will be? 2. Do you understand their needs and desires? 3. Do you know where they live? 4. Will you be offering the kind of products or services that they will buy? 5. Will your prices be competitive in quality and value? 6. Will your promotional program be effective? 7. Do you understand how your business compares with your competitors? 8. Will your business be conveniently located for the people you plan to serve? 9. Will there be adequate parking facilities for the people you plan to serve? Planning your startup. The following questions are grouped according to function. They are designed to help you prepare for opening day. Merchandise. Have you decided what items you will sell or produce, or what services you will provide? Have you made a merchandise plan, based upon estimated sales, to determine the amount of inventory you will need to control purchases? Have you found reliable suppliers, who will assist you in the startup? Have you compared the prices, quality, and credit terms of suppliers? Business records. Are you prepared to maintain complete records of sales, income and expenses, accounts payable, and receivables? Have you determined how to handle payroll records, tax reports, and payments? Do you know what financial reports should be prepared, and how to prepare them? Finances. A large number of small businesses fail each year. There are a number of reasons for these failures, but one of the main reasons is insufficient funds. Too many entrepreneurs try to start and operate a business without sufficient capital, money. To avoid this dilemma, you can review your situation by analyzing the following 3 questions. 1. How much money do you have? 2. How much money will you need to start your business? 3. How much money will you need to stay in business? In order to answer the second question, How much money will you need to start your business? You need to prepare an estimate of all your startup costs. Here's a list of items you may need to take into account. Note that this list is for a retail business. Items will vary for service, construction, manufacturing or online firms. Decorating and remodeling, fixtures and equipment, installing fixtures and equipment, services and supplies, beginning inventory cost, legal, professional fees, licenses and permits, telephone utility deposits, insurance, signs, advertising for opening, unanticipated expenses. Now, the answer to the third question, how much money will you need to stay in business? Must be divided into two parts, immediate costs, and future costs. From the moment the door to your new business opens, a certain amount of income may come in. However, this income should not be projected in your operating expenses. You will need enough money available to cover costs for at least the first 3 months of operation. The following list will help you project your operating expenses on a monthly basis. Typical expenses for 1 month may include your living costs, employee wages, rent, advertising, supplies, utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, delivery, transportation, miscellaneous. Now sum up the total estimated monthly expenses and multiply it by 3. This is the amount of cash you will need to cover operating expenses for 3 months. Deposit this amount in a savings account before opening your business. Use it only for those purposes listed in the above list, because this money will ensure that you will be able to continue in business during the crucial early stages. By adding the total startup costs to the total expenses for 3 months, you can learn what the estimated costs will be to start and operate your business for 3 months. By subtracting the totals of the lists from the cash available, you can determine the amount of additional financing you may need, if any. Now you will need to estimate your operating expenses for the first year after startup. The first step in determining your annual expenses is to estimate your sales volume, month by month. Next, determine the cost of sales. You may want to use a spreadsheet to do this. After startup, the primary source of revenue in your business will be from sales, but your sales will vary from month to month because of seasonal patterns and other factors. It is important to determine if your monthly sales will produce enough income to pay each month's bills. An estimated cash flow projection will show if the monthly cash balance is going to be subject to such factors as the following: failure to recognize seasonal trends, excessive cash taken from the business for living expenses, too rapid expansion, and slow collection of accounts if credit is extended to customers. Conclusion: if you have carefully answered all the questions in this video, you have seriously thought about your goal. However, there may be some things you may feel you need to know more about. Owning and running a dairy farm business is a continuous learning process. Research your idea, and do as much as you can, yourself, but don't hesitate to seek help from people who can tell you what you need to know. As we conclude this video, it's time you get your free dairy farm business plan gift. Go to the description below this video to get it now. It is completely free, no strings attached. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this.